Dear colleagues, dear conference organizers, thank you for the opportunity to present the report. Dear colleagues, we bring to your attention a report on the topic Anthropologically oriented strategies of the interaction in the human-computer system. The authors of the study are Оксана Клочко, Василь Федорець, Віталій Клочко, Христина Клочко. The problem of human-computer interaction is relevant and multifaceted, requiring new qualities at each stage of the development of science and technology. This permanently relevant problem is presented as a through and constant, first of all, in connection with the co-evolutionary development of information technologies and, so far, the relative transformation of the person himself and his adaptation to the digital world. At the same time, despite a significant amount of scientific research in this direction, the anthropocultural and psychological aspect of the problem, namely the relationship and correspondence of computer tools, technical software, and centra to human nature and culture, are not sufficiently disclosed. So, guided by the ideas of systematically integrated expansive character and multidimensionality of the nature of the living and above all spiritual, mental, epistemological and activity practice and sensory motor entities of man, we actualize the idea of considering the interaction in the human computer system based on the application of the unworld concept of the human cognitive and activity world. As a model of our world which systematically and holistically represents human nature, we purpose to consider the theory of woman's construction. Accordingly, taking into account the significance of the indicated direction of research of humanized and anthropological interaction in the human-computer system, and further anthropocentric, ecocentric, and biocentric direction of development of computer technologies, including robotic, immersive technologies, development of smart environments, educational environments, smart houses, smart cities, etc., we present this research as relevant. The research used a system of methods and approaches: systemic, ontological, hermeneutic, phenomenological, biosemiotic, anthropological, cluster analysis. Methodological approaches developed in the system of digital anthropology. Theories and concepts were applied: unworld, the life world, autopoiesis, embodied mind, the binary contact, the psychological functional systems. On methodological developments in the study, the Federated-Klitschko questionnaire was used to determine the body-mental orientation, the unworld-oriented interaction in the human-computer system. Let us consider the theoretical and conceptual understanding of the problem of human-computer interaction based on the integrative use of the concept of unworld by Wexel, the theory of movement construction. The application of the concept of unworld reveals to us the possibility of understanding the represent the interaction of a person and a computer and special multidimensional dynamic and systematic integrity. The indicated integrity can be understood and varied. They described as a system of circles of interaction, functional circles. The specifiers can be represented as levels, communication channels, flows of energy, matter, information, structural and functional fragments that integrate both the components of a person and the environment, including a computer, augmented reality, etc. We will present the understanding of human-computer interaction according to the essential characteristic of each of the 5 levels: A, B, C, D, E. At the same time, they function as a whole system formation. The relationship between the levels and the dependence of higher levels on lower one is irrelevant in the organization of movements. The level of tonic movements A is basic for all other movements. Accordingly, it is present in all movements. When considering level A as a functional cycle, it will be represented as a sphere and or circle and that encompasses a person both with his body and at a relatively short distance from that body. This is usually represented in the modern computer as the complex technical systems of their specific vibration and rhythmic both at the level of electrical, electromagnetical, and mechanical process. This level is close to direct influence. It reflects the constancy of itself and its self-sufficiency. Level B, synergistic movements, reveals the phenomenology of motor activity based on typical patterns and rhythm. According to the theory of movement construction, the partial component of the human envelope is a synergistic topological fractal envelope. The sum extent, an illustration of human interaction with space in this level B, is the famous Virtual Man by Leonardo da Vinci. This means that the development of computer hardware, software, interface, and models of operation must take into account the phenomenology of rhythm, topology, continuity, plasticity, and fluidity, repeatability, fractality, cycle, and rhythmic movement, temporality, harmonization with the environment. Level C, special movements, reveals to us the phenomenology of human motor activity through the realization of speciality and being in space through the movement, visuality and audiality. Due to the fact that visual sense and perception in this level are the determinant special of a person, it is manifest through the interaction with special objects, landscapes both the real and virtual. The computer in the system of this level is displayed simultaneously as a spatial object, as a special techno-instrumental phenomenon that can shape, generate spaces and special things, as a way of machine to move of virtual spaces. This is realized, first of all, thanks to its special instrumental capabilities of the computer and the machine shaping the existing space with the limits of the human envelope and consciousness. Level D, object actions, reveals the phenomenology of praxis. The computer in the system of meaning of this level is considered as a significant component of the object instrumental environment, which we present in the envelope format, presented as a special multifunctional activity tool. Level E, intellectual speech movements, is represented by body language, language and intellectual activity. The computer in this meaning system of this level is considered as a significant component of the cognitive dimension of onward interaction in the human-computer system. Based on the consideration of its implementation and existence, we present the specific interaction mainly as instrumental and cognitive. The computer is a system of this level will be presented first of all as a special multifunctional tool of intellectual activity. A study was conducted by a survey of students and teachers of higher education institution of Ukraine using the Fedorets-Klitschko questionnaire was used to determine the body mental orientation, the oriented interaction in the human computer system. Research was conducted in 2022. Yes, and see please this figure. The survey results were processed using cluster analysis. 3 clusters were obtained. Dear colleagues, look at please this table. The cluster 0, which is formed by 20 as percentage of the respondents, is mainly represented by negative answers. From our points of view of oriented interaction in the human-computer system, specific structure of answer to a certain extent indicates the dominance of interaction that is cognitive in nature. This corresponds to the level of intellectual movements E in the theory of movements construction. The specific distribution of a neutral answer relative to the specific levels A, C, D indicates insufficiently actualized object-oriented interaction in the human-computer system at the specific levels. At the same time, compared to the cluster 0, the specified interaction in the format of all levels, including A, C, D. The cluster 2, which is formed by 37% of the subjects. In this cluster, there is a certain growth of object-oriented interaction in the human-computer system, which is relatively evenly distributed across all levels. In conclusion, we say about the integrative use of the object concept and the theory of movement construction for the analysis of possible ways and futures of interaction the human-computer system represents one of the options of structuring the specified interaction. The body cognitive envelope is structured according to the theory of movement construction into 5 levels, which are simultaneously considered as the fractional cycles, as relatively constant flows of the information and energy, as topological and fractal structures, as a special spatial temporal sensory, perceptual, motor, cognitive, and activity levels of a person. Taking into account the specific of each of the levels in the way to form the ergonomic of interaction on the human-computer system, taking into account human nature, including psychology. Integrative influence on the level is a way of organizing multi-channel human-computer system interaction. The interpretation of the research results indicates of the systematically and level of interaction in the human-computer system. This determines the possibilities of distinguishing the typical paths and the spheres of interaction the human-computer system, among which the bodily and the mental psychological ones on the significant corresponding to certain levels that correlative with the sign systematic. Spatial, temporal, and structural functional organization of motor activity in the theory of movements construction. Dear colleagues, the report is over. Thank you for your attention.